All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? Happy Monday to you. It's Monday, September 20th, 2021. This morning, man, we're going to talk about something that is very important to all of us. And it is talking about the reason that we work so hard. What is the reason that we work so hard? I had the opportunity to go to the Steelers home opener yesterday with my wife. Last weekend, I had the opportunity to go to Cleveland with three of my children and spend the weekend, spend an evening in Cleveland and spend the weekend catching up with my kids one-on-one. And so I think it's important for us to remember, and I wanted to give you guys, my perspective, my opinion on, that part of your life. I think that so often we get caught up in, just working and not really taking the time to realize why we work so hard. Maybe we go for too long of a period of time, before we actually take that break to be rewarded. And so I want to unpack that this morning because I think it's a major pivot in somebody's life when they figure this out, when they figure out how to reward themselves properly, how to set those goals, and then be able to actually celebrate, go and use the reason that we work so hard for our families, for our children, to be able to enjoy ourselves and kind of strategically place those things in order to keep us motivated. Yesterday I had such a great time with my wife, had a great time at the game. And without the things that I do every single day, that wouldn't be possible. And so that's what we're going to unpack this morning. Let's get started. It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life. And then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up. All right, guys. Happy Monday to you. I hope you guys are having an awesome morning this morning, and I hope you are well prepared and organized and on offense already this week, man. It was a great morning for me. I had a great evening, kind of relaxing last night, getting through all the things that I have to do this week, and I'm fired up to just attack this week. And so I hope you guys are too. But I wanted to spend some time this morning, guys, talking about, the importance of remembering why it is that we work so hard. The last couple of weeks here, I've had to kind of take a step back from what I've been doing and make sure that, I'm refocusing on the reasons of why I do what I do, right? Why I am, constantly working so hard, why I am, why I have the big goals that I have. And that is, for me, it is for my family. It's for, legacy. It's for, a lot of things that mean a lot to me, right? At my core, the reason that I'm motivated, the reason that I wake up every day and I'm able to, attack at the level that I do and stay motivated at the level that I do is because I've been able to, reap the rewards of some of those things that I've put my time into, right? And I think that is the one thing that isn't talked about enough. And so we're going to unpack that this morning. But first, I want to say good morning to some folks. Sharif, what's happening, man? Good morning to you. Ryan Austin's watching on YouTube this morning. What's happening, brother? Good morning to you. If you guys haven't checked out Ryan Austin's podcast yet, The Power of Helping People, the episode that I just did with him a few weeks ago just dropped this morning, I believe. So go check that out. He can drop the link in the comments here, or I'll drop it after we're done. Daniel Good, what's happening, man? Ed, good morning to you. Tammy Clark, Bob Bernard, Christina, David, Curtis, Trudy, Eric Stanley, what's happening, guys? And thank you guys for being here. So, I think when you go out on social media and you go out on the internet, you're going to get a lot of advice about how hard you have to work to be able to make it, how hard you have to work to actually achieve the level of freedom or the level of success that you actually want to achieve. I think there's a lot of advice out there on what it takes to do that. You won't have a hard time finding that. What I don't hear as often, and why I wanted to talk about this to start this week, is that, this weekend, yesterday was a great reminder. I got to go to the Steelers game with my wife. We sat right in the front row, pretty much on the field. It was an amazing experience. My wife had never been, down that close at any Steeler game she's ever been to. So it was awesome. It was awesome to be able to do that, right? And, it was a great reminder to me of why we do what we do, why we work so hard, why we wake up every morning and attack every single day and every single week. And I think it's not often enough that we remember that we take the time, step back, and actually remind ourselves, why are we doing this? And so this is why I believe that so many people will get super motivated. They'll get a lot of results, and eventually those results tail off. And then they'll get back on the horse and they'll climb the mountain again, and then those results will tail off. It's because you're not rewarding yourself enough. And so for all of you guys who are listening, who are out there hustling every single day, and I would argue that most of the people that watch this show, if not all of them, are out there trying to get it done every day, right? You're out there grinding. You're doing the things that it takes to be successful. If you are not rewarding yourself often enough, if you are not scheduling a date night with your spouse, if you are not scheduling a weekend away with your kids, if you are not scheduling experiences that can actually maintain your motivation, and while you're going through those things, reminding yourself that this is why we work so hard. This is why we stay focused. This is why we overcome adversity. This is why we do the things that we're supposed to do on a daily basis. And the reward is that we get to do exceptional things in our lives as a result of those things that we've worked so hard for. And I see a lot of people out there working extremely hard. But what I don't see is the consistency over a long period of time to be able to deliver at the level that you're capable of delivering at. I want you guys to remember that. How many of you have experienced that feeling of, just, man, you're grinding, you're going so hard for such a long period of time, and then boom, you feel like, man, just the wind was taken out of your sails, right? Like you literally, no matter how hard you want to go, you just can't seem to go any harder. How many of you guys have experienced that? If you have, drop a comment. If you've experienced that, there is something wrong about the way that you're approaching it. And we've all experienced it at different times. But if you are experiencing that on a regular basis, make no mistake, there's an error in your planning. There's an error in your execution somewhere. And I want you guys to think about that. I want you to remember the fact that it is important to set up rewards for yourself. For me, those rewards are trips or experiences with my wife, with my parents, with my children, to be able to do the things that at some point in my life I was not able to do. And when you're able to do that, and you're able to set those things up on a regular basis where you can get away, you can look at your life from an outside perspective, you will never lose that motivation. You will always stay on top of your game because that next experience is what's motivating you. The next thing that you get to do is what's motivating you. It's always something out in front. Think about this. How many of you guys have been around those people that they talk a lot more about the past than they talk about the future? They talk a lot more about what they have accomplished versus what they will accomplish. They talk a lot more about the things that they already experienced versus the things that they will experience. I want you to really think about that. And maybe you're one of those people. If you find yourself talking a lot more about the things that already happened in your life versus the things that are going to happen, you got it all wrong. And your actions, by the way, if you are talking about everything that already happened, your actions will match it. You're living in the past. And when you're living in the past, the future is going to suck. It's just how it works, guys. Your mind, the words that you speak are super important. Where is your attention? Is it in what you've already done? What you already accomplished? Who you used to be? Or is it on who you are and who you're becoming? Because if it's all focused on what you did before, your future's not going to get any better. And if this morning these words are a wake-up call to any of you guys, man, am I happy about that. Because all of us need to remember that it's what's ahead. The best lies ahead. And why we work so hard every single day is for what's ahead. It's not for what's behind us. And so remember that. What is most important to you? When you think about the experiences that you get in your life, like I think about the experiences that I have. How much time do I have left on this earth? I don't know that. What I know is that those experiences, whether it's the experience of me walking in the door from a hard day's work and being welcomed by my kids and being present for that, whether it's laying in bed with my wife at night and talking about life, talking about the future, talking about how grateful we are for our children. The reason that I work so hard is for those experiences. It's for the freedom to not have to worry every single day about what's coming next. I don't have to worry about it. I look forward to it. And I don't look back and think all too often about what is behind me or what I did 10 years ago or what I did 5 years ago. I'm as often as I can, I am looking forward. And so think about this, guys. How many people do you know that used to be successful or that achieved some level of success at some point in their life? And it could be in any category. It could be business, personal. Maybe they were a standout something, in their life. But now they're living in that moment as opposed to living in the future, living for what's possible for them in the next 2 years, 5 years, the next year. So ask yourself this question as you go into the day today. What is it that you're going to accomplish for the rest of this year? It's September 20th. You got a lot of time left. You got a lot of time left in this year to make a difference. 3 months and 10 days. You got a lot of time left. What is it that you're going to do for the rest of this year? What is it that you're going to do in 2022 that's going to give you and your family and everybody you care about a better life? Because that, guys, is the reason that we work so hard. If you don't set up those rewards, if you don't allow yourself to go have experiences based on the hard work that you've accomplished, you will eventually not be very motivated to continue working hard. When there is no reward, the hard work will only last so long. And then you'll get tired because you won't be motivated and you won't find the inspiration you need to keep going. But when you're able to go to these experiences and see the smiles on the faces of your children or your grandchildren, or experience something exciting with your spouse, that fire will never stop burning for the next experience and the next memory that you're able to make and the next level of freedom that you're able to achieve. The motivation to acquire wealth, guys, by the way, money, wealth, whatever you want to call it, it's not about the money, at least not for me. It's about freedom. It's about having the freedom to go do the things that you want to do, to be able to support the charities that you want to support, to be able to help the people in the world that deserve a helping hand, that deserve a hand up, not a handout. And when you're able to do that, the feeling of doing that, it's addictive. And it is the reason that I work so hard. And I hope it's the reason that you guys work so hard, because the rewards of all of that are so exceptional. It's so incredible to be able to do those things that I just mentioned. And you guys should all have a burning desire to be able to experience that. It is what will keep you motivated. If you haven't done that, it can be as simple as a dinner with your spouse, one-on-one time with your kids, taking your kids somewhere, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can go camping in the woods. You can go visit national parks or state parks. But experiences, guys, are what drives us. The reason that we work so hard is to give us the freedom to create the memories that we all want to create. If you're not experiencing those, you're going to experience a lot of up and down in your life. A lot of that feeling that it's difficult to get motivated. And if you're not spending more time talking about the future and planning for it than you are discussing the past and what's already been accomplished, you're out of balance. You have to recalibrate your life. And when you recalibrate your life to keep your eyes pointed forward, train yourself to dream bigger, to think bigger, you will accomplish things that are beyond your imagination. And then the next level of beyond your imagination is welcomed into your life. That's what I have for you guys this morning. I hope it was helpful, man. This is one of the most important messages that you guys could ever digest, that you could ever implement into your life. Pursue that freedom, guys. Pursue that ability to do the things that create memories, that create experiences, that create things that will stick with your spouse, that will stick with your children, that will stick with your parents for the rest of your life. You know, I just thought, Lori and I went out to dinner with my parents a few weeks ago, and we went to an unbelievable restaurant that our friends own here locally called Napa Prime. Just that dinner, man, was an incredible experience that we got to spend with my parents. It motivated me, reminded me of why we do what we do, why I wake up and get after it every single day. And I'll never lose that burn, man. I will never lose that fire to be able to create those experiences for my family and for the people that I care about and for the nonprofit organizations that I'm passionate about supporting. I will never, ever, ever lose that, because that's what's important. To see the smile on my wife's face standing in those stands yesterday, to be able to take in that experience, it means the world to me. And that is what drives me. And that is, somebody just said it in the comments here. Thank you, Eddie Brown, for mentioning. That is what your legacy will be. The experiences that you're able to create for other people. And it takes resources to be able to do that. It takes you working hard enough to create that freedom. The freedom of time, the freedom of money. Anybody that tells you money doesn't matter is not telling you the truth. It does matter. It does matter. It is not the most important thing in life. Experiences, love, the connections that you have, those are the most important things. But money matters. Money can acquire that freedom, and it allows you to create those experiences, and it will 100% keep you focused on the road ahead. It will keep you focused on creating those experiences, and it will keep you motivated to continue doing it. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have an amazing Monday. I hope you have an awesome start to your week. And I will see you again tomorrow morning, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. I love you guys. Thank you.